All right. It is just the time that we are bringing you the first episode of Becoming More. If you found us on our channel for MPACT Project, thank you so much for joining us. It is going to be a great 30 minutes. We have a few more seconds. I see a few people coming in here, so whether you're enjoying this live or if you're joining us via the recording, my name's Stephanie and I'm the marketing director here at MPACT Project. And it doesn't matter if you've never heard of MPACT Project before. You're going to meet two really awesome people who have made it their goal to expand the movement and share what social change could be and should be with all of you. And so I can't wait to get to that. If you're like me, you like a little bit of inspiration. You build it into your day, you build it in your month, and when you're feeling low, you go back and you watch your favorite things again and again and again. I hope this is one of your favorite things because, like I said before, we're going to meet two people. One of them is Eric Welch. He's the founder of MPACT Project and certainly has lived a life of inspiration and has many years of inspiring others and empowering others really to be their best selves. And our guest today, Eric will be leading the conversation, but our guest today is someone who I met just a few short months ago, and she really does encompass the passion for people. She loves connecting people, she loves helping others, and she selflessly gives to others as well. So a few notes: if you see or hear anything that you really love, I hope you have a notebook and a pen that you're writing it down. We'll be tweeting with the hashtag Become More, so you can join us on Twitter. Our handle is @MPACT Project, and hopefully we'll create a little buzz on the internet there. Even if you're watching this recorded version, go ahead and give us a tweet too and let us know you're watching and your favorite parts. We do have, for the live version, we do have the chat room enabled. If you've got any questions, please leave those there. We will have a little bit of time at the end of Becoming More, an online event of inspiring people sharing their stories. So leave those there. And with that, I will go ahead and welcome Eric and Neesie. They'll turn on their video here. Make sure our mutes are off. Here we go. Okay.
Hey, Steph. Hey, Neesie.
Hi, Eric.
Hey, Stephanie. Hi, Eric.
Oh my gosh, it is evening in June when we're recording this, so I am outside. Looks like you guys are nice and comfortable as well. From here, I will give it to you. I think this is going to be a great, super inspiring 30 minutes, maybe 40. Who knows? Maybe it'll be longer than that. I'll leave it to you.
Thank you, Steph.
Thanks, guys.
Well, welcome, everyone, to the first ever, I love first, new things, first ever Becoming More. This is going to be a lot of fun. The goal of tonight is to have a little conversation, share some ideas, and this is all about you, our awesome advocates, our impact community. This is about you. Each of these episodes, we're going to feature a member of our community and of advocates, and we're going to give tips, give updates. We're going to help you learn from each other because that's way more fun than learning on your own, and it's way faster. And we all have unique experiences. We all have unique gifts to bring. And ultimately, as we're becoming more, we can all become more faster and better as we leverage the strengths and bring out the best in each other. So it's really part of the heartbeat of our community, is to be a place where we kind of blossom, we kind of bloom. There's that the stuff that's in us finally gets to come out because we have an environment where it can come out, and that's something that oftentimes we need to pull out of each other. And that's partly what we want to do in these. So, but with our guest tonight, Neesie, I don't need to pull a lot on her because it's all going to come out on its own. So, but Neesie and I have known each other for a while, and she's got a great big heart, and she got a great passion and a focus for doing things in life that matter. And it's no surprise that she found, with that kind of heart and that kind of focus, that she found MPACT Project and MPACT Project Founder. And I'm grateful you're here, Neesie. Thanks for joining us for a couple minutes.
Well, I'm excited to be here. Like you, Eric, I love first, and so to be the first, actually the first in the world with impact with a model like this, and to be the first on I went with you as the first team to Guatemala, the first, so many firsts with this, the first check, commission check. There's just so many firsts that you guys have allowed me to be a part of. And now tonight, the first becoming more. And I am so just pumped. I got chills. I'm just so ready to get into this. So
yeah.
To encourage people that they can become more very easily.
Well, this will be a fun conversation for sure. And we have some ideas of what we want to talk about, but then again, we've talked enough in the past that I know that once we get started, we'll never let our subject matter get in the way of what we want to say. So we'll just let it rip and have some fun, and hopefully everyone else can tag along. You might need to listen fast because we both talk pretty fast when we get excited. So you might need to tune up the speed of your hearing maybe once we get rolling here. But so becoming more. Kind of a big idea, kind of a, who knows, it could mean a lot of things to a lot of people. Just to start out, what's that idea to you in the context of what we're doing, what we're talking about, or life in general?
Well, the first thing, Eric, that comes to my mind when I heard this title, Becoming More, when it encompasses impact, becoming more than just a paycheck for a family, becoming more than just a person that's just going to work and I'm just looking forward to Friday, becoming more with encouraging other people to be the best that they can be. And so the becoming more with that encompasses Impact Project, this idea helps me to become more. It helps, and as I'm becoming more, it is inspiring the communities and the villages that we're working in, each person to become more, and in turn, the advocates that other people that see, oh my goodness, this is a model I've never seen before. I need to just take a look at that. And when they become and they partner with Impact Project, so it's giving other people to become more than what they really ever could be with just the typical type of quote unquote models or charities that are, the kind of
Sure.
things that are out there.
So as you've learned about what Impact Project is, what it means to you, and what's happening, I think a lot of times when people are new, they look at something that's new, a new model, something they've been done before.
Yeah.
And one of the key questions is, certainly people have to cross in their own mind or in their heart, is can I really do this, right? It sounds good, it sounds interesting to be a part of a community, be a part of a model, be a part of a platform that's doing all these innovative things that Impact Project is doing. How did you work through that, or what's your, obviously everyone's time deprived, there's limitations on all of us. How have you kind of looked at what this means to you, and how have you figured out how to fit it in and those types of things?
What's the talent, what's the time? I need to go back to October when I first read a Forbes article regarding Impact Project. And when I read that article and what you guys did there, and how girls, and as I read that, my first thought was, it really doesn't matter how much time this takes. I want to be a part of that. But one of the things that I've learned since then, and very quickly I learned it, is that it does not take much time. I seriously, I do impact as I live life, right? So the talent around there really is not a talent in the sense that, like Stephanie's the marketing director. Okay, I have no talent in marketing. Okay, none. Okay, developing a company, I have not, I don't have that business stuff behind me. But let me tell you, there's something that everyone has in them. Every single human being on this earth has something that drives them. has a desire to do something that makes a difference, that has a grander purpose, something that's bigger than them. And so that's what kicked in me when I saw MPACT Project. Like, I already knew you and what you could do, but when I really understood the difference that this can make in the lives of these villagers, and the time it takes me to do impact it's nothing. It's as I'm breathing, as I'm talking with people, as people ask me, well, you know, what's your business? It's hard to, yes, it's a business, but it's hard to call the passion that you have a business when it is what you are just, it's become a part of you, because helping people is in us. Everyone feels good after they help someone. It is just natural. So the talent is, if a person has a heart, that a compassionate heart, or even just a little bit of care for other people, that's the talent enough to do this. And as far as the time, I do, Eric. I do it. I homeschool my children. We run kids back and forth to different things all the time, and I also babysit for my little granddaughter, and she's here, and so a lot of times I'm talking to the ladies on a Zoom, and the grandbaby is sitting on my lap, and my daughter's right here, or they're doing math in the background or whatever. So it's irrelevant, really, the talent and the time. It's so doable.
It's kind of amazing in the age we live in. It's easy to take for granted because it seems like it's everywhere, but it's kind of easy to underestimate the power we have in our pocket, in our cell phone, right? Like, literally, we can do something that connects other people and changes the world on the go, wherever we are. You could pull over in a parking lot and talk to somebody and share ideas and share concepts that literally could change lives and do, and so
Absolutely.
I look at it today like, okay, it's 2016. All you need to bring to the table now is a heart that cares. Like, we can't do that for you. But if you care and you have any desire, or you have any degree of ambition to want to become more, to do more, to help other people become more, that's about all you need to bring. That's kind of the really fun thing about it, is that when we talk to people, is that that there's no barriers to entry, so that anyone who wants to play, if they're bringing, like I said, if they care, if they have a heart, if they have the willingness to want to do something more than what they're doing, or be something more than they are, all they gotta do is plug in, and it's kind of there.
And with that, Eric, that plugging in like that, even with what they're already doing, right? Because who's not busy? Everyone is busy, and so much of what they're doing matters. It matters, let it be someone who's going back to school, I always think of people my age now that I'm in the 40s, mid 40, going back to school, or taking care of grandbabies, or whatever it is they're doing with their other business, or if they're still in corporate America, with impact. And especially if, someone says, okay, what is impact? How does that work? If they come with a heart, even with still working corporate America, voicing out, touching lives in villages with impact Project is still can be done, and in the midst of that, they can still continually making a difference, and touching lives in that manner. So it's exciting that is just how easy that this is.
So you looked at Impact Project several months ago. You kind of caught the vision, right? And then we had a lot of fun down in Guatemala a few weeks back together on the first ever trip. I try to think, it maybe be fun to talk about what was in your mind about what Impact Project meant to you prior to going to Guatemala. Like, how did this fit? What was your drive? What was your, if we're going to fit something new into our life, we're going to have a reason for it, right? There's got to be something that's going to make us do it. Otherwise, we're all too busy to fit something new into our life. As good as it may seem, it's just not reality, right? So everyone's got and that's okay. That's good. That's how we're made, right? What was that for you? And then what got added to that by going to Guatemala? Maybe that's a two-part there.
Yeah, that's a two part, but they totally go together in that aspect. Being busy, what was the drive for me? For one, I like to travel. I love missions. Going to places, Eric, where whew, it makes me want to cry when I think about it, because I to keep myself in a centered place and to understand, Neesie, your life is really pretty fantastic in comparison. And because of that, I have a responsibility. That's one of my drives. To whom much is given, much is required, and we've been given so much. And so my drive behind that is that, yes, there's so many different things I could do. And people, as you're hearing this live or on a recording, as I'm talking right now, please don't take this as a bragging. But so much of what I've done, I've succeeded at. I've had success with things, with, in other businesses and things like that. But what was behind it for me, Eric, was a drive of, okay, can I make the next level? Can I, but the drive behind this for Neesie C was, oh my goodness, I can be a part of something where girls stop getting abducted. I can be a part of something where children, if they have a stove in their home that has a chimney on it, and I can be a voice for them as they're doing their part, and then we're doing our part here as a voice for them, it can help that rate, the number one death rate of 5 and under, to actually decrease. To be a part of something like that, that drives me. To know that I can say, you know what, it's $12 for a week of extra nutrition for a toddler, to help so that they can grow at a normal rate and not be stunted in life. Eric, when I was in Guatemala, I was a giant to the men. Because of in their infancy and toddlerhood, they didn't have the nutrition they needed. So the men are so small. I looked like a giant to the men and to the women, and that it blew my mind. And so if I can be a part, and my family can be a part, and anyone that I voice it to, $12 for a week's worth of nutrition that can help move, it can totally just stop it and change it for generations and generations and generations. That's the drive. It's not just, it's a drive about changing the quality of people's lives that don't have the ability to do it right now, but instilling hope in them so that they can see what they have and then get up, and they're using their resources and things. And so that is what is driving me.
That's awesome. As you're saying that, I'm thinking we've both lived enough years now to know how quick life goes by, right? And right, nothing like kids as a good barometer for how fast time goes by, right? And so I think about that, and I think there's a lot of times people get to a certain spot in life where they realize going through the motions, doing the deal just to earn money to pay the bills, and then putting off like something that matters for some time off in the distant future. Like that's everyone. I think almost everyone crosses that line at some point. And what it seems like is that people are crossing that line earlier in purpose and doing things that matter later in life, and right now just focus on paying the bills, right? And so you have kids in the millennial generation, college age kids, and that's certainly part of their mindset. And it's really refreshing because I didn't grow up with that mindset. I mean, it was normal, right, when I was in my 20s to be completely focused on me because everyone else was too. And now there's like a shift where everyone's like, hey, we got to be about a global citizen, and we got to be like focused on something beyond ourselves. And while that's important and it's great, I think what's added to that is it's not just about only giving those people and families in Guatemala a chance to become all that they can be, right? It's ultimately for us too, because I think one of the things that we can miss, and you see it when you go to a place like Guatemala, right? And maybe you could touch on this, but I remember the first time I went out of the country to Africa, one of my realizations for me was that while I didn't have material poverty, certainly not relative to them, right? I have, relative to rich people in America, I suppose I could feel sorry for myself, but not compared to anybody I met in Guatemala or Africa.
Sure.
But what I saw was I had like a purpose poverty, right? Like I was lacking like contentment. I was lacking and I think it's almost a divine order of things where like until we plug in to a way to use our life for the sake of someone else beyond ourselves, we can't fill a part of what's inside of us. Like we don't have a completeness inside of us until we plug into that, and I think that's what people are kind of surprised with sometimes, is how much that feels. It's beyond, it matters beyond what they thought it was, because they've never tapped into that before. And then when people find it, it's like, people just, I don't know, it's just, I mean, maybe you can touch on that. I mean, you've been to Africa, you've been to Guatemala.
Yeah. As you're talking, I keep wanting to interrupt you, because I was thinking of, as you're talking about the millennial age, right? I have my children, my older children are that age, and when I was living in Wisconsin, now I'm down here in Arizona, but when I was living in Wisconsin, I lived right behind a major university in Wisconsin, right? And so as my guys grew and all their friends grew, they're college students, and my house has always been the house that people come to. And so sitting around the table with these college students, because they don't want to use their lunch tickets anymore, they want to come to Mama Neesie's house to eat. So we're feeding them, but what I noticed and you're hitting it dead on, they want to do something more now. They want to do something with purpose now. They don't want to wait until they're done with college. A lot of the kids that were at my house this last semester, they were freshmen, a lot of freshmen. And they're like, what can I do now? And even many of them looking at MPACT Project, and like, okay, how can I do that? How can I, they want to do something with purpose that will leave an absolutely lasting impact. And it's really refreshing to see that. It gives so much hope, because as you know, we are at that middle-aged place, and we want to, encourage and to leave this type of deal in the hands of other people that care, and to be able to start off at 20 years old. I look at my sons. When I was 20 years old, I was working in a bank, and now 2 of my sons have been overseas, and one is still overseas. This is his 2nd year overseas, doing something for other people, because that is just in their gut. My 16-year-old, he's like, Mom, I got my passport now. How can I go do that too? When am I going to Guatemala with, so it is a different time. And MPACT has the model, Eric, to help those students to become more now, to use this platform to become more now. And as they're looking at it and seeing, and they're like, okay, this is doable. This is easy. I can become more now, and they get pumped about it, So yes, as we and because MPACT has made a model here, Eric, that so MPACT Project, as corporate, you guys have done all the hard work. You put the infrastructure in there, and now as an advocate, it's all we do is just plug in and just use our voices and go for it. And so having a model like that for people that are ready to do and to become something more right now, it's game over. It's ready, and we run with it.
That's awesome. Yeah, you've got some amazing kids, and they are certainly picked up on your passion to do great things in the world, and you have a whole family legacy going on. So it's inspiring to me as watching it, because my kids are a little step behind yours. I've got teenagers coming up, and so it's cool watching your kids really go out there and try to leave their mark in the world at an early age. and not wait till they're in their 40s or whatever. So I wanted you to share, you shared a really cool story a couple of days ago. And it's in the realm of how do people perceive what we're doing, right? Like, it's kind of like, okay, sometimes we're like, well, I get it. This sounds really good to me, but what's this going to sound like to other people? Like, how do people perceive this? Or, you know, is there a receptiveness to the idea of being a part of something like Impact, where it's good for you and good for someone else at the same time? And even though that's kind of maybe, unfortunately, strangely enough, kind of a strange idea to people, right? Because, but you went to a meetup and had some fun and had a chance to just introduce the idea, and maybe, you know, just touch on that for a minute, just as a very snippet of information and response people had.
Well, yeah, I had the opportunity to be a part of a meetup. It was Ultimate Women Entrepreneurs, and I tell you what, I was in a room. There was 25 of us. So they just had enough for 25 people, and which was beautiful because you're focused and the leader, just sharp woman, and what their goal is to inspire women entrepreneurs. And I didn't know that I would have an opportunity when I was there to actually, and it's all about networking and helping one another out in their businesses and things, and seeing where we can connect and things and network. But I didn't know that I was going to have an opportunity to actually just share about impact. I figured that I would, talk a little bit one-on-one with people when they're talking, but I had the opportunity to give a 30-second, what would you call it, impromptu advertisement, or, so my elevators
Pitch.
Pitch, right?
Yeah.
And so I actually ended up being the last person to go to do my 30-minute or 30-second pitch. And it was really phenomenal watching the other ladies, and hearing their hearts. And what I noticed is that they all had hearts for people. They all had a heart. They all had passion for people, for each other. But with everything they did, it was about other people. And I was looking, I was like, wow, that's impact. That's so impact. And so I had an opportunity to share. I'm pretty sure I did not take 30 seconds. It was about 20 seconds. And my heart in that, as I was sitting there, I was thinking, there's a whole bunch of things I could probably say. And, but my heart was this. We all have two things that are deep within us. We want to do well for ourselves financially, and we want to do good for other people. So doing well by doing good, and just that impact has created a platform for people to do that. And if they wanted to have more information, to just give me, I contact them, and then they can just give me a ring or whatever. And after, with that little bit that I said, and just how we partner people with the platform that we have, and to help them to do those two things and fulfill those two things in their lives. After I was done, there were several people that wanted to know more. And the knowing more, Eric, as I was thinking about, when I speak with them and things, what I noticed that these women already have a heart that want to do something different, something that will leave an impact, So it was exciting because it didn't take 30 minutes or anything like that to share the heart and the passion that was behind it. And you said something earlier, Eric, if a person has just a little bit of compassion or passion in their heart, they can do something that's so significant. And I believe that's what they picked up. I love this idea, this concept, and people, and that's another thing, Eric, people are ready for this concept. It's something that's, there's more detail in what I did in 20 seconds, right? But the simplicity is this. We all have these two things, and let's see what we can do to do well while doing good. And people want to know more about that.
Yeah, because in 20 seconds, you didn't say anything regards to the specifics of impact. It may not even have mattered that you said the name. They probably don't even remember the name. But what they remember, right, and here's, I think what's fascinating about this story is all you really did was you pluck the guitar string in their heart, if you will, of the tune that is about becoming more, making a bigger difference, doing something that matters, doing something with meaning and purpose, right? That purpose song is often unsung that's inside of us, right? It's like it's something that some people, especially if they're in the right environment, it's hard for them to hold back, right? So they're like, I don't know more about what you're doing. They have no idea what you're even talking about, but all they thought was you might have something that allows them for that song to come out inside of them. And that's what they're interested in, right? The specifics are really fairly irrelevant to them at that point. It's more of like, they're looking for like, did you maybe say something that could help that something come out of me? Like, because I want that to come out, right?
Yes. And Eric, you know what? The deal is, and people can deny it all they want to, but God placed that in each of us. We each have that where we really, really, in the depths of us, we want that tune plucked, so that when we're laying, you know, or saying, oh, so that when we look back, we have no regrets, right? Because that's what it's about. It always comes back down to, did I do all I could do? Did I make a difference on this world? Did I leave an imprint that when people think of Neesie C, they'll think, oh my word, did I leave a legacy? And it makes you want, there's something, and we can't deny it. And many people try to deny it, that is there, you know, some of the tough, strong men, right? But it's there. It's there. And I actually had a sweet lady email me back, and it was so encouraging. And I had met her at the meeting, and she emailed me last night, and she said, Neesie, you really shared you're excellent at sharing your passion and your heart. And I was said to my husband, I'm like, I can't remember what I said that really showed my passion and my heart, because I really, you know, because I have to be honest with you, I was a little bit nervous. That was my first time at the, you know, and you know, meeting the ladies and everything. But that is how embedded and how beautiful this is to me, that it came out with passion. And so, and that is just that simple, right? It's so easy, it's so simple.
I think that's a good, almost like a little training tidbit there is, the reason they responded is because you own it. It's in you. And so much of our communication is nonverbal, right? It's 80+%, whatever, depending on the statistic, a lot, right? And so they heard you loud and clear, and they heard your heart, they heard your vibe, they heard your authenticity, because that's what came out of you, because you completely owned it, right? It doesn't matter what you say. And sometimes we think it's the right words, or we have to say the right thing, or we have to have all the answers to all the questions, and it's not. It comes out of you in a way that's not even with words, right? And that's really what they felt, is that you authentically care, you authentically have something you believe in, and it may be a path for them to live a life of purpose and significance, and excited about changing the world like you are, because they felt it from you, you know? So it's really a cool example of less is more. And what really matters is how do we own this inside when we're talking to people about it? Because they're going to ask questions you might not know the answer to, you know, but that doesn't really matter as long as you got to own it inside of what does this mean to you? What does it mean to the world? What does it possibly mean to that person? Like, what are you offering them?
Sure.
What they felt is you're about them. You weren't about you, right? So that's why they're interested, because everyone wants to talk to someone who's interested in helping them, you know?
Yeah.
So good job to you. It's a great testimony to just your
with what has been created with MPACT Project, you know, and I was thinking about that Forbes article, and how the line that drew me, right, is when they were discussing how the people got up and they worked, and they saw that they could do something for their daughters, their granddaughters, their nieces, right? And what I thought about were the men, you know, that were able to, you know, with Sagashi showing how that they could do something to change their village. And standing up the other day, Eric, those kind of things stick with me. And when you're a part of something that is not just drawing income, which I know as we continue flowing with Impact Project, finances, they're not going to be a question. It happens because Impact Project is rewarding us to be the voice, right? So that's there, and that's fantastic. But the idea to stand up, and that's that passion in me. I haven't done anything different from anyone else when they are seriously standing up for something that truly matters, right? And anyone can do that. But they do have to own what they're doing. And so the advocates that are here and that I have the opportunity to speak with often, they're owning it. This is something that they are like, we cannot not advocate for Impact Project.
Yeah.
There's no way that we cannot not. It's just it's a part of us now. And so I encourage the people that are listening. I'm not any different than any of them that are on this call. Yes, I'm busy. I have a whole bunch of things on my plate, but you know what? Time is, is still moving for me, just like it's moving for everyone else. And just like everyone else, that heart that we have in there and that desire to do something significant, I know it's there.
Hey, speaking of own it, you got a really cool thing you started. I think you call it Mama's Making an Impact. I just want to talk about that for a minute, and because you got some great other mamas that are owning it for sure, and I just thought maybe you want to connect about that for a second.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I have to make sure that you understand this. I didn't begin that. That was Advocate Brooke Barker, Mama's Making an Impact, and they're letting me come along for the ride because I think I'm the oldest mama in the group, right? But the Mama's Making an Impact is, again, one of those things that Impact Model has instilled for helping mamas become more, while they're training their babies to go, to potty training them, while they're, taking care of their kids and taking care of their homes. And there's a lot of mamas that want to be involved in their children's lives. Let it be that they're homeschooling, let it be that they're, even if they're not homeschooling, but they want to be home with their families, and working the 9 to 5. There's a lot of tired mamas out there, Eric. And what the Mama's Making an Impact is showing is that the model that Impact Project has here, it can help mamas become more, and mamas to make a bigger impact with a very little time, very little effort. And so Brooke has put that together to encourage other mamas to really take a second look, third look, fourth look, whatever it needs to be at this model of impact.com, and to see if this is the platform for their lives and to make an impact.
Yeah. So there's Brooke, who's doing some really cool things. There's a blog she wrote recently that talks about that as a change-making woman, and with 4 young kids. And another teammate of yours is Lisa. She's doing some fun stuff lately. You want to maybe touch on that?
Well, let's talk about Brooke just a little bit, though, too, because Brooke is living in this little bitty town, and she's like, I know there's other mamas around here. So she had a house full of mamas just a little bit ago, just with some hors d'oeuvres and some wine, and just talking about how they can make an impact together. And that was really phenomenal. And your wife spoke at that. Your wife came in to just be a part of those mamas in there. And Lisa Nichols, she has her grown children now, and she's a grandmama now as well. And Lisa, she, as a mama and a grandmama making an impact, she put together this for her 50th birthday. She just had her 50th birthday last week. And she used Impact Project as a platform she didn't just want, again, just to have a birthday party. People come, give cards, give money. She used Impact Project as a platform to feed children with nutrition in Guatemala. Eric, the numbers, oh my goodness, over $500 worth of Manny Plus nutrition went to Guatemala with Lisa. And actually she used social media for the whole thing. She totally just used it. And we could not have been more ecstatic with that. And as we're watching her little calendar, she kept the calendar on Facebook. I don't know how she did it. I'm sure it was pretty easy. But she kept the calendar on there, and every time we saw it, oh my goodness, 10 people already that has said, yes, I want to be a part of this. And all they had to do was click, because she had a link on there. So it ended up being over almost $600 worth of Manny Plus to go out to children. And I don't know how many babies of nutrition that is. Math is not my thing, but a lot.
Well, I think what we see is, if we give people an easy, bite-sized way to be a part of something that matters, they want to and they will, right? And that's really what she did. It was really kind of a fun thing. So, well, anything, we should probably wrap up, and just wanted to see if there's anything else you wanted to share from your heart before we kind of see if there's any questions, or kind of just close it out for tonight.
Well, we can check with Stephanie, see if there's any questions, but I guess tonight, as I would just close out from my heart, if there are advocates on here or people that are just on the line or saying, I just want to see a little bit more about this, listen, you cannot go wrong. There is nothing that you can go wrong with here with MPACT Project. Seriously, I actually had someone ask me, do you need some advertisement done? Do you need, just different things done? And yes, I'll put some advertisement in some other places, but because of the model you have, I don't need anyone created anything for me. I can just give them, because MPACT Project Company has really, as corporate, they really made it so easy, so simple. So my encouragement to you advocates who are already, you're like, I'm advocating. If you haven't been doing something every day with MPACT Project, cut it out, get moving, because it's worth it. And, and it matters. And those of you who are just saying, I don't know, take a look. Don't stop looking, because I'm telling you, as you look, you're going to see that this is a really, really phenomenal, sweet deal. So let's link arms, you guys. Let's link arms together and seriously make some sustainable change for the world, because that's what MPACT Project is all about.
That's awesome.
And thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining. This is a lot of fun, and you gave me a challenge to offer when you said something there at the end. Is I tell anyone, peel this onion back as far as you can peel it, because you will not find anything where it's not a win-win-win-win-win for everybody. And that's almost part of our challenge, is that it seems too good to be true because there isn't but you will not find one. Peel it back as far as you need to peel it. And that's the beauty of it, is it's just a great thing to be able to offer people to be a part of. And it's just a matter of letting people know what it is and owning it, and letting them see it for themselves. So thanks for being a great example of that, Neesie, and pioneering the movement with us.
Well, thank you, Eric, and thank you, Stephanie. Thank you for allowing me to become more with with my family, become more as a team, and just become more in this life that I have here. So I really appreciate everything that you guys are doing. So thank you.
Well, I look forward to the future with you and all that we do with you and your team. So
thanks,
Stephanie.
We will certainly be hearing a lot more from Neesie. She will be the host of our next Becoming More. So if you are live right now, make sure you head over and you sign up for our email broadcasts if you're not already doing that. Or if you are not already an advocate and you want to become an advocate, today is your day. You can go to impactproject.com/advocates and get yourself registered. How long did it take you to register, Neesie? Do you remember?
3 minutes? Not
really short. Okay, so we have two questions actually that came through, and one is, do you think that anyone can do this?
Oh, absolutely. Anyone.
Hands down, anyone can do it.
Anyone can do it. I actually just told my 16-year-old. I'm like, hey, Ezra, you should be an advocate. He's like, really, Mom? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you know what? I do have friends that I can talk to, and they work, and they can do $12 a month for feeding, giving kids nutrition. Anyone can do this. Grandmamas at home, grandpapas at home, anyone. And then seriously, if anyone thinks they can't do it, just call me.
Okay, perfect. There is your open invitation. See, guys, I told you that you were going to want to meet Neesie. And then the other one is kind of a personal goal for Neesie. You know, obviously you joined to spread the movement, but what is your personal goal as far as Villages Helped, Cook Stoves? You know, when you set those goals, can you share just a little bit about?
Absolutely. Here's when someone asked me why you were doing MPACT Project, you know, my first answer was this: I want to see MPACT Project in Africa. My goal is to take care of the villages that are in Guatemala. So as we get Manny Plus in a village, right, Stephanie, then that village doesn't need the nutrition anymore, so we can move to another village. When that village has the stoves in it, as they're working to get the stoves in it, then we can move to another village. So my goal is to see this thing move to Mexico and to the other places that I know MPACT Project has the vision to do. But I want to be the first one to take it over to Africa. So that's my goal, and it's a big one. So I'll be here for a minute.
All right. Well, I think that is a great way to end. Neesie, any final thoughts you want to leave everyone with?
Well, you know what? When I said if you have questions, seriously call me. I mean, Stephanie, you can put my number up there or what have you, because it's worth taking another look if you're thinking that. And as far as goals, you're an advocate already. Do that. Continue to set goals. So that's where we're at. My goal, you know, is a big one, but I do have it down in chunks, right? I want to see my team and I, we want to see that Manny Plus go to 0 in the back office, because you can see how much is left there, right? So those are the things, little goals like that, and because it's the goals that we have set, they're not just impacting me, it's actually changing the lives of people. So excellent question, such an excellent question. Helps me to continue to keep that in my face so that I can keep at it.
Now we all know, so we'll be sure to remind you. Eric, any final thoughts?
This has been a lot of fun, and a great way to start it out, and look forward to the future of these. And next time I get to relax, and I'll just ask a lot of tough questions in the chat room, because you're going to host, Neesie, so this will be fun.
We'll be ready. All right. Thanks, you guys. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Night.